So, hello everyone, and thank you for joining us today to our webinar Raspberry Power in Real-Time PLC. Let's go through the topics. First, a short overview. There will be a short introduction about the speaker, which is me, and the Berghof Automation and Control Solutions, and then we will go into the topic of today's webinar, the BNemis MCPI family. I will explain what is the BNemis MCPI, why you should use the BNemis MCPI. I will showcase the technical specification of the devices and our option and accessories that can be used together with these devices. After that, I will provide a short showcase showing the device, how to turn it on, of course, how to log in, how to configure it, and then jumping into Codesys and do a small sample application. What can I set? What can I use? And how can I get it to work? So let's go to the introduction. My name is Konstantinos Arabatsis. I joined Berghof in the year of 2012 as an application engineer. Since 2015, I changed to the technical support and has been there ever since. Additionally to the technical support, I also am a trainer for workshops, default workshops or customer-specific workshops, and I provide support for all our Berghof controllers in Codesys V2 and V3, as well as some support for our PowerTrack devices and our remote access functionalities. The Berghof Automation and Control Solutions is a system provider for demanding control tasks in plant engineering and worldwide equipment. Berghof specialized in customized solution based on a highly flexible standard portfolio, combining maximum fulfillment of requirements with maximum qualitative product safety. The hardware and software components impress with their sophisticated function and maximum reliability, even under extreme loads. Just an overview, what are the typical fields that our devices are represented? We are represented in the more or less classic industry and machine building. So everything that has to do with machine building, packaging, handling, cutting, moving, transporting, and these applications. We are represented into the intralogistics with our PowerTrack devices, which is specialized controllers for transport systems that are on a guided railway. And we have there a specialized grinding can for the communication and provide here our services, and also into the building automation, like for climate control or fan control inside the building and other control tasks. Let's go to our topic of the BNemis MCPI, the first real-time PLC with Raspberry technology. What is the BNemis MCPI? I already said it. The BNemis MCPI is a PLC with real-time functionalities based on Raspberry technology. So something that has to be distinguished is that this is not a Raspberry in the classical sense, but it is a PLC that uses the latest compute module 4. The system that is running on these devices is not the Raspbian or the Raspberry OS. It is a custom real-time Linux that comes from Berghof and that we have used for many years on all our IMX devices. We support with the BNemis MCPI and these control system, this operating system, the full quad-core CPU, which is because the operating system is a real multi-core system, And we also use the Codesys V3 multi-core runtime by default. So it is not like the normal runtime and you can update to it, but it comes by default. It has an industrial temperature range with passive cooling, one of the features, and it comes in a high quality aluminum case, and it's perfectly integrated into our standard device families and is compatible with everything and provides modern interfaces. Why should you use the BNemis MCPI? Coming through the new hardware architecture and the quad-core functionality, it provides an even better real-time performance. We have 4 independent cores that can be used also independently inside your application. This gives a significant performance gain of the overall system, much better visual performance, soft motion applications with more drives compared to our actual portfolio. It has a large amount of RAM and flash memory coming through the different compute modules that can be used. It is a compact form factor that can be extended via modules. It is perfectly compatible with all our devices. So even if you exchange an older Berghof device, it's perfectly compatible. So nothing there. One of the key features is that we support the specified temperature range without CPU throttling, which is it is an issue with Raspberry Pi based devices. A lot of devices that are based on Raspberry Pi technology has a specified temperature range, but what it does not specify is at which range how many cores are working and at what frequency. We have optimized our system here that through the whole specified temperature range, all 4 CPUs will be working at the full clock speed and they will not be throttling. Compatible to our existing software and hardware option platform. So whoever knows our our devices knows that we have an abundance of different software and hardware options, and this device is here fully integrated and can use these options natively. Whoever does not know the options, we will have a short showcase about this a little bit later. Also, we can add additional features like even or improved cooling or different interfaces via accessories. Let's go technical specifications. We have 2 devices inside the Berghof BNemis MCPI family. First is what we see here, the BNemis MCPI Pro, and 2 variants which differ in the use compute module, you could say. And what are the tech specs about this? It is a rail mounting. It provides a rail mounting. It comes by default with the CE certification. More certifications are also possible. It is programmed with the Berghof V3, Berghof Codesys V3 IDE and software development tool, and it runs the multi-core runtime. It has the Broadcom quad-core 1.5 GHz CPU. We have 2 variants, one with 1 GB RAM, 8 GB flash, and with 200 GB retain, and the second one with 2 GB RAM and 8 GB flash. We provide a gigabit Ethernet connection on the device and also 1 Ethercut via the LVDS at the side bus. Additionally, Wi-Fi and Bluetooth will be optional with the second hardware variant. We will provide by default the EtherCAT master as a communication protocol and as an option, and provide much more protocols as options inside this device. Also, CAN-based protocols are also supported with an additional accessory. The device supports, of course, the Codesys visualization, web-based and normal. We have one USB 3.0 and one 3.2.0. We have a digital display interface. We provide a connector so that you can optionally add a cooling fan if you need it. And there is also a real-time clock included with a 72-hour buffer. And also optional is an extended heatsink for even higher temperature range. As an extension, we can use, of course, our MCPI portfolio, and our temperature range is from -10 degrees Celsius up to 40 degrees Celsius, and this can also be higher with additional cooling. This is for the passive cooling that comes by default. Let's go to the MCPI Prime in our two variants. You can see the picture here, or I have also one here. So this device is real, it's not just a paper tiger. And what are the differences? The MCPI Prime provides additional interfaces and a bigger housing. So again, we have the array mounting system, we have the CE certification by default, we have the Codesys runtime, the quad core, the same amount of memory, but additionally to the gigabit Ethernet connection, we have a second Ethernet connection here with two ports. That is a switch, and we also again have the native EtherCAT. The protocols that are supported are the same. The visualization that is supported are also the same. And additionally, we also provide two more USB ports with USB 3 and USB 2 and a micro SD slot. Otherwise, we have the digital display interface, again, the connector for a cooling fan, the power supply, and the real-time clock, and the same temperature range from -10 to 40 degrees. So, just a quick overview about our options and accessories. These are all the communication protocols that are supported with the device. Some may need an accessory, the CAN-based devices. Otherwise, we support EtherCAT, Profinet, Ethernet IP, Modbus, CANopen, J1939, BACnet, KNX IP, OPC UA, and SNMP. Just some of the difference of the options that we also have here is web visualization, the activation of different USB accessories, an FTP server, motion and soft motion, backup and restore functionalities, application protections, IoT libraries, OpenVPN client and Xon agent for cloud-based services, and so on. It's just a list. We have much more of them. Yes, we have more of them. Additional to the software option that I just mentioned, we have also customization options. Example given, a customized device, a customized logo, a customized nameplate, or a customized software configuration, and even more. Hardware options would be plug sets, an extended heatsink, additional industrial certificates and warranty extensions. And for the motion, we provide the Codesys soft motion for synchronized movement between axes, like electrical camming or electrical gearing, soft motion plus CNC, which extends the synchronized movement to CNC and robotics if you want to go one step higher, and our upcoming Berghof motion lip that is a default interface for supported drives for simple movement and single axis movement or multi-axis movement, but that do not have to be synchronized for easy use of different drives that can be integrated into our system. So some of these options that we see here can also be purchased at a later point, like all the software options that we see here. And some must be ordered during the purchase of the device, like the customization options, of course, or the hardware options. These software options are installed directly onto the PLC inside our own license manager and do not require any additional periphery to store the options on them. So you buy them, you receive a file, you can install it onto the PLC, and everything works as is. And then just a quick overview on our accessories. Of course, you can use our full I/O lineup on these devices of our BNemis MCIO and bPremis CCIO, which has different communication modules like extenders, gateways, and bus couplers, digital I/O modules, relay-based I/O modules, analog I/O modules, temperature modules, counter I/O modules, and even multifunctional I/O modules that can be configured either as counter, or you can configure if it's an analog input, output, and which type, so highly flexible. We provide periphery for these devices like our Berghof Easy Connect, which is our service dongle that you can plug into the PLC and create your own Wi-Fi network or connect to an existing network, USB to Ethernet, USB to serial. Of course, the plugs that are coming with them, storage devices, Wi-Fi antenna, if you want to use the Wi-Fi, the cooling fan, and so on. Of course, the devices come without the display, and if you want to show something, we have HMI accessories like our bPremis ET Pro, our bPremis ET Prime, and our upcoming bPremis TM Prime, which are touch-based monitors that can be directly connected to the device and do not use an Ethernet-based connection. So far to the options. Let's continue to the shows case. As I have showed you, I have the device here, which I will now connect. So the device is now connected, and the first thing I want to show is how to log into the device and how to configure it. So people that already know the Berghof devices will know what comes next. Every Berghof PLC comes with an integrated web server that is the web interface, and which can be accessed to configure the device. It has a default IP address, of course. This device is now pre-configured, of course, and I will just type in the IP. And what happens is we come to the logging menu, and I type in my user data, and I log into the configuration menu. So what we have here is we have different options that I can set inside my device, like network configuration. How do I want to set it up? Of course, like time and date. I have an FTP server and the integrated SSH and web servers. I can deactivate and activate them. I have VPN functionality. Either we are an open VPN client or the Ixon cloud-based services, which are our partners. I have a user management and still much more. This is a non-finished firmware, and not all features that are provided into with our devices are integrated yet, but they will of course be brought to the same level. All the features that are known for our IMX-based devices will also come to the MCPI devices, and even more in the future. And I can go through with the system configuration that I have here. These are the installed options right now that are on the device. I can see which is the firmware that I'm using, the device name, the device ID, and the operation times, CPU temperature, and more. I will not go through every detail, of course. This is just a showcase on how you can configure it. One nice thing is a lot of updates can be performed here via the web interface through this update menu. This includes, of course, firmware updates. These includes the license installation, and these includes the backup and restore functionalities that we have as an option. So you can upload predefined images into the PLC and get it running again. So far about this and how it can be configured. One thing that is interesting to know is, because this is a multi-core device and we use the EtherCut, this Ethernet 1 is always pre-configured to EtherCut and cannot be changed, of course, because of the native implementation over the LVDS. And this Ethernet port will also always be locked to the last CPU core for real-time priority. And the last CPU core here is core 3, starting from 0. This is important to know if it comes to Codesys and how to provide a correct task configuration. So let's jump right into Codesys. I have here my Codesys window. First step when I have installed my Codesys is, of course, always to install the package. I go into my package manager, select install, and I have to jump to the location where I have my package, which is here. I select complete setup now here for convenience purpose and install it. The package is needed so that Codesys can detect and communicate with the MCPI. So this is basically the translator between Codesys and Berghof. I go next, finish. Now the updated package version is installed, and I can create my new project. I can select a name. This is, let's just call it Webinar MCPI. The location is, of course, always a use case. I say OK. And now here in the device, I can select my Berghof MCPI and my main PLC, PRG, for my main program call. So one thing that should be noted is that the Berghof Benemius MCPI will always be integrated into the system as a soft motion controller, even if no soft motion license is present. It is one of the main use cases for this device, and it is always supported. So there will not be two different controller types as is right now with the IMX devices, which has a default controller and soft motion controller, and this will always be a soft motion controller out of convenience. And this also brings with you the nice feature that you can Even if you just want to test soft motion, you don't need an additional test license anymore from us that we provide you. You can just create your soft motion application and run it automatically in demo mode. So I have added the device, and this is now my main application. What can I do? First, inside of the device, I can scan my network for it, and I know now for sure out of the serial number, this is my device, and I have now selected it as active, so I could download the application with this. But before doing this, I want also to show how to integrate the EtherCAT and scan for your modules. And this is basically the standard Codesys procedure. So I go here and I say add device. I select my field buses. I select my EtherCAT master. I don't want to do any soft motion now, so I can just select the EtherCAT master. And the next step here is I select my network name. I can either browse for the for the found network interfaces that are here. ETH1 is the one for EtherCAT, as we saw in the main menu. I press OK. I can also go with a lower cycle time. 4 is the default. I can go down to 1 millisecond for distributed clock cycle time. Of course, this change also has to be done here, which is done automatically, and I can also set the priority. Additionally, I want to add a visualization, and I will just say add the visualization manager. And it has already automatically integrated me the web visualization that is going to be needed. And I will just add one visualization page that I have here. And I will have to set this visualization page as a start visualization. And inside this visualization page, I can go very simple. I will just add one rectangle and give it, let's say, a gray color, just for showcasing. I will place it at 0, 0, and expand it over, let's say, 20 to 720. And I will also add a text. This is the MCPI. Of course, these text is now very tiny inside here. I will go here and I think this was too big. Yes. And here I have it. And basically just a small demo showcase is done. One thing that should be shown is the task configuration. I have now my task configuration with 3 different tasks: my main task, my visualization task, and my EtherCAT task. And right now they're all inside one task group, and my core is fixed pinned. This is this basically means all these tasks run into one core. In order to divide it to different cores, I create a new task group. One is for the EtherCAT, and I will also add another one, and this is for the Visu. and I will just pull them here. And now I can say which task should run on which core. So my main task will run on 0. My Viso task will run on 1. And if you remember what I said inside the web interface, my EtherCAD has to be bound to 3. The priorities can be as is. This is application based. And now I can download into the device. Of course, there is no application selected. One thing that should be noted, of course, is the EtherCAD master is integrated, but no modules are integrated yet. And here I will just do a quick scan of the devices. These are all found. I say copy all devices into my project. I log out. I can also go here and set my global bus cycle task and update the always update variables. And I log in again. I have to do a reboot. And I start my application and everything is green, everything is running. Of course, now I can set some of my outputs, which unfortunately are not shown, but here. So that's it for the showcase, and which comes to the conclusion. What is the BNemis MCPI? It is a Raspberry Pi based PLC with Raspberry hardware, but its own software that is running a real-time Codesys, which you can program with the Codesys application and use it for your automation projects, which is perfectly integrated into our lineup as is. With this, I want to thank you for your attention. If you have any more questions, feel free to contact us, either me, the technical support, or the contact information here, or of course to anyone of our sales team, Mr. Matthias Geisler, Mr. Mark Skoters, or Mr. Raphael Wall. They will be happy to be in contact with you and also answer your questions. Thank you again, and I wish you a nice evening.